Do you see it?
What?
Look real closely. It's a bobber. We are taking this beautiful day and we've come out to fish. And during this time of fishing, it makes me think about density and buoyancy. And today in your lesson, you're going to read about the man who came up with the theory of density and buoyancy, as my daughter is reeling in her fishless, what do you call this, fishing pole? Her fishless pole. And so remember, let's go back to where we talked about density and buoyancy. We have yet to really been able to talk about buoyancy because we haven't got there yet. We were just not getting to chemical reactions, and my daughter just hooked me. Now I'm unhooked. And so buoyancy is related to density in a way, because in order for something to float on top of water, what does its number have to be? Has to have a density of less than 1.0 grams per milliliters, or grams per cubic, or per centimeters cubed. For it to sink in water, it has to have a greater value than. And so you're going to look at who came up with that theory, who talked about buoyancy and density, and that was Archimedes. So your assignment for today is to read the short article over Archimedes and then underline or highlight what you feel like are the most important parts that Archimedes founded. If you do not have the ability to print it off, go ahead and get a piece of paper and do 5 facts, or 5 things that you found interesting about Archimedes, whether it's how he was born, his personal life, how he sat in a bathtub and was like, oh, I know the difference between gold and silver. It's all up to how you feel like are the most 5 important. And then tomorrow's assignment is to answer those 3 questions based off of your readings on Archimedes. Wednesday is a little bit more tough. You're going to research Archimedes and all of the inventions that he came up with, and then I want you to diagram on a piece of paper the invention that he created. Now, here's the cool thing about Archimedes. Archimedes was first a geometrist, I guess, is that a word? Someone who was interested in math. You always ask these questions, why is math and science? Remember, we have to have math in order to support science. Most of our philosophers were math geniuses and science theorists. And so that's why those two go hand in hand. And then on Thursday, you're going to study about a guy with the last name, and I cannot think of it, starts with an M. I said it earlier. Well, he is the one who founded not founded buoyancy, but that ships can float underwater, and not so much they have to float on top. I said float underwater, but go underwater. And he's the one who invented submarines, and there are 2 submarines. I think it's Actinio 1 and Actinio 2 that he invented. And then the neat thing is, exactly how did he figure out that something that has more density is going to be able to go underneath the water? What did he do? And be able to still float and not sink all the way down to the bottom. Then you're going to read his on Thursday and then answer a few questions over him on Friday. And that's it. This week is not a very difficult week. There's not any math really in it. It's reading and researching, which are things that scientists need to know to do in order to continue to theorize and look up how our world is invented and what it's made out of. So if you have questions, holler at me. You got my number.